Hello everybody and welcome to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I have a video where I am going to be transplanting my plant that's hanging next to me here. This is my Epipremnum aureum Enjoy and it is in soil at the moment, but I want to transfer this plant to semi-hydroponics, but I don't want to have to go in and take all of the roots up out of this soil container, rinse all those roots off as best I can to put them in a nutrient mix, let roots grow out that way, and then try and put it in semi-hydroponics because it's very difficult to get all of the soil off the soil roots, and a lot of the soil roots could slough off in the leca balls when they're in semi-hydroponics, and that means you need to go in and take them out, rinse all the roots and the leca balls out again and transplant the plant again. So I am going to just go in and prune off all of the long vines on this plant and transplant them into my nutrient mix here in this vase in front of me. And I've used half the recommended dose on the container because these vines obviously won't have any roots on them in the beginning, so I only need a little bit of the nutrient mix to encourage the roots out. And this plant should grow roots within 2 to 3 weeks and then be ready to transplant into semi-hydroponics in a leca ball container. So I'm really looking forward to that. But this is going to be an easy way for the transplant to happen quicker, easier and cleaner because there is no soil having to be touched in the whole process. So let me get on now with pruning off all of these vines of this plant that's hanging up here, and then just take off any leaves that are too low down or parts of the vine that are shedding off so that you don't have a lot of organic material floating around in your nutrient mix. And then I'll be left with a root ball in this pot with a little bit of vine at the top, and those will start growing out new vines as a new soil-based plant anyway. So if you want to keep your Epipremnum aureum Enjoy in soil, then it's important to think that this is a plant in the Araceae family, so it's an aroid, and they like a chunky kind of substrate. So you can put anything in your mix that you make yourself, and that can be a mix of orchid bark or shredded bark, cocoa coir, cocoa chips, perlite, vermiculite, humus, sand, horticultural charcoal, biochar. You can also use a soil mix that you blend in with all of this, or you can just use the chunky material, but that is the best way to keep this plant happy because it needs a free draining soil that stays slightly moist but never too much, never too thick, nothing that's going to keep the soil compact around the roots because it's very important that they get oxygen around their roots. So that is the best way to make the soil mix for this plant. It also likes bright indirect light if you want to keep the variegation with the white and the green very bright. Otherwise the plant will start growing out a limey green and green color and lose a little bit of its variegation. So that's very important. When it comes to fertilizing, don't over fertilize it. When the plant's growing, you can fertilize it maybe once a month or so, and then it will be happy with that. And you can have it as a hanging plant or vining up something, and the leaves will grow bigger that way. The plant grows fine with normal house humidity. Around 50% humidity would be perfect for this plant. And always keep your plant in a temperature between 16 and 27 degrees Celsius. That's 60 to 81 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a tropical kind of plant and it can't take cold temperatures. It would die with that. In soil, you can repot your plant as soon as it fills out its pot with its roots, and then just upgrade to a pot that's a couple of inches bigger, but never too big for the size of the root ball, because then the soil will contain too much water when you water it, and that would rot out your roots. So basically, water your plant when it's dried out or almost dry, water it through and then let it almost dry out again, but never let it sit in water for too long. This plant can get pests, and I've had thrips on my plants, so it's very important to keep them sprayed off, washed off, hosed off, put it in the shower, use a horticultural soap, use neem oil, use some kind of preventative to get rid of the pests on the plant if you get pests. So basically, that's all the care tips that I have for the plant in soil. Let's get on to pruning my plant now. This is so exciting. So I have down here a container for my debris. So I'm just going to get in and chop everything off, and then when I've done that, I'll bring my plant closer so you can have a closer look at it in the nutrient mix. So I'm basically going to take off pieces like this, and then if they're clean and tidy straight away, like this one is, just a little bit there, then I can basically put that down in the nutrient mix, but I will take off some of the lower leaves to give more space for the vine. So that's like that. That was the first one, and I have many more to go. So I basically just get on with this and take off every little bit that shouldn't be there. They have some lovely aerial roots on these vines, so they're going to do great at growing out fresh water roots in this container. If I have vines with nothing growing on it this time, I've decided I'm just going to throw those away. That's not necessary. I have so many vines here. Some of these vines are absolutely perfect because they don't have many leaves at the bottom, so they're very easy to clean off and put straight in the nutrient mix. Now this one is a little bit of a challenge. As you see, it has a growth point here and a growth point here, so I'm just going to cut that in the middle and place those in the nutrient mix. There we go. Again, take off anything that's not necessary. So here we go. This is my plant completely pruned back. Every single long vine is now in this passive hydroponic vase container and will grow out roots. So let's have a little closer look at this, because it looks amazing as a whole plant as it is, doesn't it? I love this. So if you look here, there's all the lovely leaves. This is a lot of plant. So it's going to make me a lovely hanging basket very quickly in semi-hydroponics later on. Lots and lots. And the leaves look wonderful. Look at that. Looking really, really good. And if we can see into the container somewhere here, you can see all those stems in the nutrient mix. Fabulous. And here is the mother plant. Still lots of plant going on in this soil-based pot. So this plant is just going to fill out this pot again in no time, as if nothing ever happened, because it is doing fine and looks very happy. So basically this is just one way that you can propagate this plant. Take everything off and start again, and then you'll get yourself so many new plants. I mean, look in here. I must have like 30, 40 different plants going on all together. It's fantastic. You can do soil propagations, put these straight into soil, and you can put a plastic bag on top or so forth to make a mini tent. You can use water propagations without nutrient mix, or you can do air layering while the vines are still on the mother plant. You could put a bag with soil or so forth around the roots, and then they will grow out, and you can just prune that off and you'll have a whole new plant straight away. So there's so many different techniques, but I am getting into the semi-hydroponics, so this is part of my method of getting to my final result. So I really hope you've enjoyed seeing this video and have been inspired to how you can go in and prune back your own Epipremnum aureum enjoy. So remember to check in when I make my next video with the next phase of working with this plant. So all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.